Hello there, and welcome to Super Metroid. My name is Eric. I call myself Demon Alchemist. I've always loved this tense atmosphere and music here in this intro screen. The game's also called Metroid 3. So cool. So tense. So as we can already see, there's the baby Metroid that we saved at the end of Metroid 2. But, ignore this save file. I will explain that a bit later. We'll go and just delete this first one. Yeah. You can play with either English or Japanese text in both US or Japan. The control scheme that I always like to do is this. I like Y for shot, B for jump, A for dash, and X for item select. It's really cool that you can just control that here in this setting, in this menu. There's also the special setting mode, which has icon cancel, which I don't remember if that means that it'll switch off what you have selected when you exit a screen or what. Moonwalk is weird, and I will show it later. Let's go.
The last Metroid is in captivity. The galaxy is at peace.
I was about to read it out loud until I remembered that it's voice acted. I first battled the Metroids on planet Zebes. It was there that I foiled the plans of the space pirate leader Mother Brain to use the creatures to attack galactic civilization. Nice little remake of the final boss fight of Metroid 1 in the Super Metroid engine. Very cool. I next fought the Metroids on their home world, SR-388. I completely eradicated them except for a larva, which after hatching, followed me like a confused child. Yeah, I used that wording in the finale of 2 as a reference to this. We couldn't aim diagonally. Oh, this music. I personally delivered it to the Galactic Research Station at Ceres so scientists could study its energy-producing qualities. I also love that sprite of Samus and the blinking. It's very cool. I love this picture, but it also looks kind of like that scientist has a skeleton face, like a skull, with no skin, and he's screaming. Ah! The scientists' findings were astounding. They discovered that the powers of the Metroid might be harnessed for the good of civilization. Samus did good. She brought the baby to scientists that could help use it to help people. Satisfied that all was well, I left the station to seek a new bounty to hunt, but I had hardly gone beyond the asteroid belt when I picked up a distress signal. See, this is weird to me because it implies that this station at Ceres is at Ceres, the dwarf planet in our solar system. But otherwise, I don't think Earth is mentioned in the Metroid franchise. So it's weird that it seems to be in our asteroid belt. Ceres Station was under attack. I love that here it doesn't say Ceres, it says Space Colony. It's inconsistent whether it's referred to as a research station or a space colony. And I suppose it could be both. It still just feels weird to me, though. But you might notice a few things are different. One, the game is very pretty. And two, there's a map in the top right. Otherwise, the HUD is in line with previous games. And you might be able to tell that we have a run button. We can aim diagonally. R aims up, L aims down by default, obviously. If you press both, you'll aim straight up. But you can also just push in those directions as you move. So that it's useful when you're standing still, mainly. You can do it while crouching as well, which means you can do this, which I've always liked. Just a little dance. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and move forward. This is a really fun sequence here. These doors open automatically for us. And here's the title screen room with corpses on the ground. Oh no. The baby Metroid is not in its thing here. Also, I just want to mention that intro cutscene is one of those iconic introductions to any video game. And I forgot how incredible the music is. Aw, baby! We got you! Mission accomplished! Let's go. Oh no! Yeah, here's Ridley! Back, and in the timeline, no longer cybernetic for the first time. Let's see if I can do a thing here. Usually I can't. But obviously, in the main series, we last saw Ridley. Oh, I'm doing better than normal here, which is pretty cool. In the main series, we last saw Ridley in Metroid 1. But in the timeline as a whole, including the Prime series, he last showed up in Prime 3. Or at least that's how it was until a few years ago. But I'm gonna go ahead and not spoil that. But this is his first appearance in the series, in the timeline, since the first game, without his cybernetics that he gained. Yeah! He drops it! Oh, but he gets it! If you can deal enough damage, then that'll happen. Emergency, self-destruct sequence activated. Evacuate colony immediately. That is a sequence where you can't die and you can't kill him. But it will end if either you go below 40 health, I think, or below 30 health, or if he takes like 100 hits, I think. And it's actually fairly difficult to hit him that many times and dodge effectively, I find, in that tiny room. But I did it! It's actually the first time in a while that I've done that, so I'm glad that was on recording. But after our defeat of Ridley in the first game, he is severely damaged and reconstructed in Metroid Prime as Meta Ridley. And this is his first canonical appearance after losing the cybernetics and regenerating. We escape the Space Colony series, and we follow Ridley, I assume, to planet Zebes. It's not explained why we're going to Zebes, unless it's just because she assumes that the space pirates have rebuilt their base. I think most likely she followed Ridley to Zebes. But I admit I haven't read the manual, because I don't own... I own this game physically on Super Nintendo, but I don't have like a boxed copy, and I didn't have it as a child, so I don't have the manual. Here we are on planet Zebes. It seems like we can't progress to the right, but we can! This game is full of tricks, intended ones and otherwise, that allow you to get around in areas get around in ways and to areas early where it seems like you shouldn't be able to. Here's a green door that we can't do anything with right now. But I was able to get over here because of the wall jump. This is one of the main new mechanics in this game as far as I'm concerned. It can be a bit tricky, as you can tell by me repeatedly failing it here. You spin jump toward a wall, and then press away from the wall and jump. Very quickly, she'll jump off of the wall. It's a tricky thing to do, but you get the hang of it. Some people can do it in very inopportune circumstances, like right here, to climb up there. I like this little water that lands, that splashes when we land. This is apparently acid rain, but Samus is totally fine, despite similar rain hurting her in, like, Prime 3. But we are going to explore. We're back on planet Zebes. We also have a pause menu now. You can't pause in the intro part, which is interesting. We are in the area known as Crateria, a section of the planet that we did not explore in the original Metroid 1. It is in Zero Mission, the remake, but we also have a Samus screen, but nothing in it. This is where our power-ups will go. And that's it. There's no other menus you can go to, no options you can change in-game. That's it. There's a bunch of doors here, but as you might be able to expect, nothing we can do in them yet. Also, it's interesting there's no enemies present currently. I don't know, like, I'm trying to think how much I should really explain here. This area is familiar. This is Turian. This is the escape shaft from the end of Metroid 1. This is where we escaped to during the escape sequence. Sorry, I'll mute my phone. Which implies that this room should be, and it is! This is where we fought Mother Brain. The platforms and Zebetite towers are a little different, but this is that room. Speaking of different, this elevator wasn't here. It seems like the area's been reconstructed from since we saw it, at least a bit. But actually, this elevator was added into Zero Mission, so I'm not sure canonically how it ended up attached to Turian. And just like the first game, here's the Morph Ball. In this game called the Morphing Ball. Or it's either the manual for this game or the first game that calls it the Marumari, which is the Japanese name. We're being watched. See, you're supposed to break that and go through with the Morph Ball, but I like to just do that, to just wall jump out. And we know this area, so we can just explore a little bit. This is the area down to Kraid's lair, right? Not here. Here it leads straight to a door. And missiles. This is one of the Metroid games where you start with absolutely nothing. You have to collect the Morph Ball, missiles, and everything else, again, from scratch. And there is no explanation. I'm curious if they do a remake of this game, if they'll add an explanation. Because this takes place right after Metroid 2 and or Samus Returns. Not and. Metroid 2 or Samus Returns. But there's no explanation for why she has absolutely nothing. It's weird. This is where this spot ends. Normally this is where you progress forward in Metroid 1. But there's nothing else we can do here. Well, there's technically, like... We can go in here. Oh, come on, I know I can go in there. What the fuck? I know that I can go in there. I don't know why... I swear you can go in here. You can't do anything right now, but you can go in here. Whatever. We might check to see if there's an energy tank. It'd be right about, like, here. It's not there. It's right here. But we can't get it yet. I love these little, scary faces on the platforms here. And they're all over Brinstar here. Which, yeah, by the way, that elevator did bring us from Crateria into Brinstar. This is literally the same area from Metroid 1. Although, again, things have changed. This is a fun detail that's about to happen that will never happen again. You go up, and those faces on the side turn to face you. Very cool. I apologize that there's a lot of explanation and, like, pretending I don't know things or something like that. I'm just trying to sort of honor the game's atmosphere a bit here at the beginning. Oh no! Space pirates! Those cameras reported us to the space pirates, and now they know we're here. So they have sent out their forces to immediately be annihilated by Samus, because that's how that goes. So this room unlocks once you kill all the space pirates, which is why there's one above the wall back here that you don't have any need to kill. So you'll come and hit this door, and you'll be like, oh, it's locked. You go re-explore, kill him, and they unlock. It's a nice way of teaching you that there are rooms where you need to complete certain objectives to unlock doors, which wasn't true in Metroid 1 or 2. But the way that's done is that the doors each do that. So like right now, if I went to the left and then re-entered, I'd have to kill them all again to unlock this door, because that door had not been opened after being unlocked. So it's good to remember to always open every door in a room after fulfilling the condition. That way you don't have to do it again. You might wonder why I'm coming back here, even if you know this game a bit, and it's because there is one more thing we can do now. We couldn't a second ago. There are enemies here now. I don't know why the space pirates detecting us makes it so that there are, like, the native creatures present again. I don't know, but we're encountering a lot of the same enemies, Rios, Geemers, blah, blah, blah. We can use the Geemers, or the other enemies, but the Geemers are the easiest way to do it, to get, that you can get that energy tank. And this is technically a sequence break. You're supposed to come back with one of a couple items to get this, but you can get it now, so I always do. And this is something I will be doing extensively in this game, and that is sequence breaking. Yeah, just 2 tries. Not bad, not bad. That's taken me a lot more tries than that before. I do not fully understand how you get knocked around, how knockback works exactly. So, like, I can't reliably do that every time or anything. You gotta kind of get in just the right position for them to knock you up into it, instead of just to the right or down. And it doesn't seem to just be being higher than them, but I don't know. I sequence break this game pretty extensively. There are several more advanced glitches that I don't use, so I'm not very good at them. Some of them I just can't do. So I'm not going to show like every possible trick and break you can do, but I will be showing as many as I normally do, and maybe a few extra. I actually have a list of glitches and tricks to perform in the game. Not specifically for this, I just made a list because I watched a glitch video and I was like, oh, I don't do all of those. I'll do that. And I started a playthrough where I was doing a bunch of them, and then I could not get one of them to work, one that I've done before, and it was annoying me, so I stopped. That was the file I deleted at the beginning. It's fine. I will show all the things I want to show and all the things I want to do here. Well, you can use wall jumping even in areas where it doesn't help you progress in a new way. You can use wall jumping to get around faster if you're good at it. And currently I am struggling, so not a great representation of how useful the wall jump can be. But I am much better than I used to be. I used to really struggle to do the wall jump at all. And it's not clear if it's intentional that you can just wall jump on the same wall over and over again. But you can. In later games, when you wall jump, it pushes you away from the wall. That's true in Fusion, Samus Returns, and Dread. But here, it's not true. And as you saw before, we can break these pink walls with 5 missiles, just like walls, doors, whatever. Just like in the first game. There's not a lot of different ways we can go right now. As we get farther into the game, the sequence will be less and less like a casual playthrough. This is a map room, very useful, especially for new players. It will fill out our map with the map. It's not all there, though. It does not show secrets, and it doesn't always show how to get between areas on the map. Still very helpful. Not so much for an experienced player, but it's still nice to have. I'm not necessarily calling myself an experienced player here. So now that we can morph ball, we can progress further in here, but not very far. There's a block here, and we do not have morph ball bombs to break it. Unsurprisingly, we will be getting morph ball bombs soon. You almost always get morph ball and bombs near the beginning. Metroid Dread is actually an exception to that. This is another kind of new thing. This is a save room. In this game, they're always in safe rooms, as opposed to the save stations in Metroid 2, which are usually in areas without enemies, but they're not always separated off, sequestered, as I said before. But so right now, there's really only one place we can go. Without morph ball bombs, we can't go that way. We cannot go... We still don't have anything to break the green door to the right of the start. So all we can do now is go down here. And this game is sort of designed like that, where you're just like, oh, this is the way to go. And it will just get you to where you need to go. Much like Metroid Dread, although I do think Metroid Dread has better conveyance. Which is the term for that. Oh, actually, here what I recommend doing, it's minor, but I recommend actually breaking that wall door. God, I'm having a hard time. Breaking that hatch before you kill all the enemies. That way, you can pick up some missiles from their drop so you have more going into here. Although I realize there's no need for that. It's just a Chozo statue, so here's a bomb. I love the weird sprites that show Samus doing things in these item explanations. Because, like, what is that sprite? It's like halfway between NES and Super Nintendo. I mean, it could probably be on NES, but it doesn't look like Samus did in Metroid 1. Yeah, Morphle Bomb, let's go. Oh no. This is the Torizo. Essentially the first boss of the game. He will spit out these balls that you can destroy for item pickups. Otherwise, you want to just aim at his chest. Having an additional energy tank makes this even easier, but it's not that hard. Although I would have taken almost a full energy tank there, so that could have been close if I didn't have that. Yeah, that is sort of a way to teach you that you can't necessarily always trust Chozo statues, even though they were a, like, invaluable, reliable resource in the previous games. Not so much here. Although I will say there aren't a lot of Chozo statues like that you can't trust. But it's a nice way of letting you know that you're not safe in Chozo rooms, necessarily. Now that we have the Morph Ball Bombs, there's a lot we can do. One is not actually something we can do much with, but I want to show. And if I screw this up, then I might have to fast forward. But let's see. A thing that you can do using Morph Ball Bombs is what's known as a bomb jump. It is a technique that I'm not certain is intentional, but it might be. I think like right about here. You can time bombs so you can jump indefinitely. I realize bomb jump is also just the term. Oh, you can totally do the same timing that I've seen people do in Dread and I now do. But this is what I find the easiest way to do this, is just bomb right before that one disappears, or bomb right before that one goes off, and then each time you land, you place a new one, or each time you each time you get to the bomb you already placed, place another bomb at roughly the same spot. Not exactly. A little above, obviously, because that's how you gain height. It is difficult, and I am apparently out of practice, even though I've been playing Dread, where the timing is basically exactly the same. So I don't know why I'm struggling exactly. I guess it's because I'm talking. It's the Let's Play curse. Let me try this for a sec without talking. I will probably just fast forward to my successful attempt, but we'll see. Ugh, I was a little far off. I didn't realize you had to be like right about here. But basically, I recommend placing them as closely together as possible. It means you gain less height, but it's more reliable, I find. Fuck! Oh, it's a bit tricky. No! I got too ballsy. There we go. It's not that hard. It doesn't usually take me that long. But this is just a good demonstration of it right here. I can't do anything here because this door is yellow. Can't interact with it right now. But I just wanted to show that it's possible to get up arbitrarily high. And this is this is not really useful later because generally you get a thing to get up here easier before you get the thing to open this door. Let's see if I can actually do a glitch though. It's right here, I think. No, it won't work because I don't. That's right. You need a specific item later to do that glitch. But yes. Oh, we filled up the entirety of the right side of this room. That's cool. Bomb jumping can be really tricky, particularly if you're out of practice or like get in your own head about it, like I am right now. But it's not that hard to do. And generally, you can do it in safe areas where you don't have to worry about failing. But there are also more interesting ways to utilize it. But anyway, basically, each time you get a new item, you will have new paths unlocked. There's nothing super valuable we can do over here right now, but I want to demonstrate something real quick. There are several bombable spots in this area. There's a locked door up here. And I like the idea that these were already here. In Metroid 1, we just didn't think to stop. I think that's funny. But on both of the platforms that block this far right side, you can bomb. And then you can go to the right. This is another one that requires the same thing as the other door. But I just want to show that they're here. And actually, I forgot there is something of value we can do right here. In Mother Brain's chamber, if you bomb one of these two spots... Okay, is it just the middle? It's the middle. Never mind. Once you bomb the middle, break through here. That's really weird that it landed like that. The camera, the way the camera moves is interesting. Like that felt like I just hit a floor, but this wasn't on screen yet. It's weird. There's a missile tank down there though. Very nice to get. There's nothing else of note that we can do in that part of Brinstar. I'm trying to be very careful with my wording. So the only ways we can go are back in Criteria, or back up further. We're technically still in Criteria. Even though, like, this should technically be Turian, because it's Turian from the previous game. But, nah. This is just a normal-ass part of Criteria. But I will see you back up there, in case this takes me a while. Nah, it didn't really. Oh my god. Of course, I had to say something. There we go. God damn, man. It's very easy to mess up the tricks in this game. Like, because they take more precise inputs than some of the tricks in later games. Well, that's not entirely true. One thing you can do in this game is bomb a block to see what item you need to get through it, or in this case, these are fall-through blocks, as we'll see momentarily. I like these are the same faces from Brinstar. That's cool. I've never really thought about that. I don't think I've ever noticed that. Another missile tank. I always like to sort of jump in and like aim at the missile tank. Like Samus is suspicious of it. I don't know why, but I've always found that funny. Oh, I forget. You don't have to do that. You just bomb jump up and you can go in like this. And fall through blocks will immediately break once you land on top of them. They're often used to block passages to make them one way, but there are some ways around some of them. Obviously, going back to save would be prudent. It's recommended to save frequently, obviously. But we're going to go ahead and just move forward. It's interesting that this has a run button. This is the only game with a dedicated run button that works like this. Metroid Dread also has a run button, but it's... You only really use it for one specific purpose, and that purpose hasn't become a thing in this game yet, so we'll get to it. I'm trying to think... Yeah, I'll show it here. This hallway to the right here is a phenomenal place to practice a specific trick. A trick that's very useful in a few circumstances, but I will practice on the way back. This is dead end. This is the gold statue. I don't know if it has an actual name, but as you might be able to guess by the Ridley being up top there, and if you played Zero Mission, not Metroid 1, you'd also recognize that this is a boss that you should know. These are the bosses of the game, and to beat the game, you need to kill all 4 of them, basically. I know I'm explaining lots of things in this game that's very well trodden, but that's just how I do it. I'm sorry. It's here. The trick is called the Mock Ball. I believe spelled M-O-C-K, not M-A-C-H, even though that makes more sense. But you hold the run button, run, jump, press down in the air, and then down as soon as you land. And then with that, you can move at running speed in morph ball form. You can basically tell if you've succeeded, aside from the speed, if you can tell that, but by not bouncing. If you fail the mock ball, okay, now I'm having a hard time failing it. I guess that bodes well for me using it later. You will bounce. If you land in morph ball form, you'll bounce. Or if you land before pressing the morph ball, you'll stop moving. It's a relatively tricky maneuver, but it's not that hard, actually. I've heard online that it's like a frame perfect thing. You press down the frame you land, but that can't be true given how consistently I can do it. I am not good enough to nail pixel perfect tricks repeatedly. I imagine it's probably just a couple frames, or frame perfect tricks, not pixel perfect, whatever. The two have basically the same meaning in my head. Oh, yeah, I didn't comment, but we picked up an energy tank back there. Something that's cool that you can do in this game and no others is you can disable your abilities. So now we can no longer use the morph ball. You can turn off any of the major power-ups you pick up, which is very cool. Say you get the Varia suit, but you want to do a boss in a harder way. So you turn it off, so you take more damage, that kind of thing. It's really cool. I love this music. This is the main music for Brinstar. Oh, it's so good. I think I'm gonna go left first. Yeah. I don't remember the map like flawlessly, but I have it pretty well like internalized the order I do things in. This last Friday, I was streaming SMZ3, which is a ROM hack that combines this game with The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, another classic Super Nintendo game. And it's interesting. It's weird. It's interesting. I'll go ahead and link to my stream VOD of that if you're curious, or you just look up the game. But I will say, if you did want to watch my VOD, video on demand, for anyone that's not familiar with live stream terminology, there's a bit of a delay in audio. I am not sure why, but there is. Let's see if I can do this without entering, do this as soon as I enter the room. If you run and then jump into the door, you get plenty of time to mock ball. I screwed it up, but still got a missile tank. This is one of the main areas where people use the mock ball trick to get an important item early. And I do it too. So that's what I'm about to do. There are 4. You actually get 4 useful items by going this way, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Normally you're supposed to have an item from later to be able to run through this before it closes. If you try to run standing up, I'll try it after I exit. You hit the shutters. So you need to be low enough, as in morph ball form. Nice. And also fast enough to get through. And the only way to do that right now is the mock ball trick. We got the reserve tank. And if you go this way, you can also get a missile tank. And, well, this isn't the room that people usually reference this with, but wait, there's more. Another missile tank. There's a specific room in this game that's I've heard called the Billy Mays room because. But wait, there's more. That room isn't actually that one, but it's a similar situation. We're just like, oh, there's another thing here. If you just look. Missiles are very powerful. They can usually one-shot normal enemies, and bigger enemies will get one-shot by this. There's a new item, assuming you didn't play the remakes of 1 or 2. Super Missile. It is a lot more powerful than a normal missile. I think it's either 3 or 5 times more powerful. And it is very useful. And getting it early here means there's a certain thing that we just straight up don't have to do. Yeah, normally you run, you hit that. I'm debating if I want to do that thing. Because there is a specific encounter that's supposed to be, like, the reward for it is super missiles. Also, one thing I use super missiles for a lot is breaking missile doors. Because it'll break a missile door in one shot. One of my friends says that's a waste of a super missile, but I don't care. I'm lazy and it's very convenient, okay? This video, by the way, is going to be a little long because there's a lot of explanation and stuff here at the beginning. So it's probably going to be like an hour long-ish, which is probably not a great idea on my part because I don't have that much time. I wasn't able to record this video when I recorded the rest for this week because I ran out of time. This is a missile refill station. Yeah, it'll fill you up to max missiles, but it will do nothing to your super missiles, which is important to know. Oh, it's crazy, I'm already at 35. I've already got 7 missile tanks. These guys, when you kill them, the room will get darker. Which means if you kill too many, then you can't see anything at all, and it can be very difficult to get through without taking a lot of damage. There's also this way, which we cannot progress right now. This is an item that we don't yet have. It's cool to get to see it like that. Each game sort of changes the way to see what item you need. This game has a couple. Oh, I didn't explain the reserve tank, I realize. It's basically exactly like a sub-tank in, well, if you switch it to manual, then it's exactly like a sub-tank in Mega Man X. If you switch to auto, then it will automatically put that energy into your main health if you run out. Very, very useful. I guess people don't know Mega Man X. The sub-tanks, and here, the reserve tanks, pick up extra energy that you grab that you don't need and store it for later. So anytime you want, you can use it to fill your health. And again, here, it'll automatically do it. We have 1 reserve tank right now. I think I will do this. It's up here, so if you know the game, you know what I'm talking about. But first, I'm going to grab some stuff right down here. This is another thing that you're expected to have an item to use those blocks later, but you don't need it. You can just pop up here and grab missile tank. There's another thing over here, but it's another thing we can't do right now. There's going to be a lot of that. And I'll try not to be too repetitive about pointing out things that we can or can't do yet. Because I could see that being annoying if I were to use like the exact same wording over and over again. Just like Metroid 1, these pipes are great for grinding, but way better in this game because you can just sit like this, hold the shoot button, aim diagonally down. As long as you're far enough to the right on the pipe that they won't hit you, you're good because you're still close enough to pick up everything they drop. Am I already full on the reserve tank? No. But I don't need to be, so that's fine for now. This is another trick. You need to run from the left to get the screen scrolled. Okay, let me just demonstrate first. Okay, you're getting in the way. Die. You want to break that block. Yeah, I couldn't remember exactly which block it is. This is a return path. Normally you need to use a super missile to break that, and you can't from the left because it's not loaded. But, I can just show that real quick. Doesn't work. It's still there. The ground shakes when something is hit by a super missile. But what you can do is, while normally coming from the right, it goes off screen by the time you get to about here. If you run from the left, the screen scrolls sooner. You can do. If I can pull it off. I don't remember the exact position you want to be in. I've done it from several spots, but it's like right about there. No. Okay, be back. Generally, this game is nice, and you'll get more of the drops you actually need. So I think you want to stand right about in line with the tall thing. So like right about here. Yeah. From right about that position, if you run from the left, you can get it to be spawned. Basically, you just want to trick the screen so that this is loaded, and then you can shoot it to break it. Sorry if I explained that weirdly. I paused mid-explanation because my mom was calling me. But as you can probably guess, by the fact that was a green door as the exit door of this area, this is where you're supposed to get super missiles for the first time. Right there. Which now means that because there's no other items, you never have to go up here. I think it's a fall through, so I don't think I can actually get up to where it is from this side. Oh my god. Oh my god. I am really struggling to do the wall jump sometimes. This is basically how you're expected to do a wall jump, I think, with 2 walls. Although this isn't exactly a part you're meant to do it in. But it's easy to get out of rhythm when you do a bunch at once. Yeah, I don't know if you can... I'm pretty sure it's fall through, so... But, while normally I don't do this part, I will go do it. Just to show it, because I want to show everything in the game. First, though, I am going to do a thing down this way. Oh, another new thing. Obviously, it's new that there's a map, period. But the map shows dots representing whether or not you've picked up an item in that spot, in that map square. Well, it doesn't show whether or not you've gotten it. Sorry. The later games do that. Here, it just shows that there is an item there. Now we have the charge beam, a new item. Obviously, a lot of people know about that because it's a classic thing. But this is the first game to introduce it. You also can't go that way. Same block as we've seen before. You might notice a thing there. It's interesting, actually. The charge beam has a unique feature that if you morph ball while you have a charge, you'll spit out 5 bombs. And they're different than normal bombs because they're affected by gravity. And there's another thing you could do with that. There's a lot of little secrets in this game. If you hold down when you morph ball, you'll charge it, and you can send them up higher. Very cool. It's called the 5-bomb drop. The only other game it's in is Metroid Other M, which is essentially a sequel to this game, so it's based right after. It's basically Metroid 3.5, which is why it's the next one I will be doing, Let's Play-wise, I think. I might change my mind on that, but I think that's what I'll be doing after this game. But, so this area up here is now entirely optional. And I don't need to save, so I'm actually not... Now, I'll go this way. I'm not necessarily going to promise to show every area on the map, because I don't generally visit every room. But I'll make an effort to. So the normal order of events, as soon as you enter this area, is basically to come up here, because you can't progress farther. And go up here. This is the only door in this area that you can open without a super missile. Or another item you don't have yet. These guys are powerful. They take a while to kill. They take like 6 hits. You can kill them with 1, with a normal missile, so very useful. And you need to kill them to exit. I think that's true for this door as well. Yeah. I'm not as familiar with this part because I never do this. But, despite the fact there's a dot there, that does not mean there's an item necessarily. Because it also indicates this is a mini-boss. He's not one of the big 4 ones, obviously. His name is Spore Spawn. He's intended to be the way to get super missiles, but because I already have them, I can actually just exit right now if I wanted to. Oh my god. I missed every shot. What the hell? Normally he takes quite a while, but he's obviously very weak to super missile shots. You're completely safe in the bottom left corner if you're morph balled. So that's usually what I do. You just kind of hang out there. And then pop up and shoot him when he opens. The super missiles make this fight progress very quickly. Because obviously they do several times more damage than you're expected to be able to do at once. Otherwise, this fight drags a little bit. Like, it's fun. Ugh. You can get multiple hits off with missiles while he's open, but only 1 with super missiles, I think. Because you can shoot normal missiles way faster. But, yeah. There are some other mini-bosses that aren't one of the main 4 big ones. But that you can still fight, and some of them you have to get certain items, and some of them you can circumvent, like him. He just gets slowly darker as he takes damage. Very classic boss thing to do. God, I am hungry, by the way. I am excited to make myself some breakfast. There we go. Something interesting you can do is any enemy that you're able to wall jump off of, which includes him now that he's inactive, will shake. Their sprite will jitter when you wall jump on them. Strange. I will go up this way. Even though, again, there's no need to, but the entire area changes colors when you beat him. It's really cool. And then, yeah, this is the area I was in before, where you just flop, fall down. You can jiggle your legs by doing this, which I think is funny. It looks like she's freaking out. This is where you're supposed to get super missiles, but let's go. Yeah, after this I'll make breakfast, and that'll be very nice. I do have enough time to make breakfast, even though I'm a little bit more strapped for time than I wanted to be. But I also want to mention something that's really cool. So the 3DS eShop is shutting down. The 3DS and Wii U eShop is shutting down. Well, not entirely. You'll still be able to re-download games you already own and download updates and stuff, but you won't be able to buy any new games. I'm saying you won't be, because for me, it hasn't happened yet. It happens in a week from yesterday, 6 days from today. For when this video goes up, it's already happened. This goes up a full, 4 days after that's already happened? Yeah, I think so. So I made a list of all games available on the 3DS and Wii U. and I still have not yet made my priority list, but my girlfriend offered to buy me a Japanese Wii U. I already owned a Japanese 3DS from a while ago. And to give me money that I could spend to get games before the store shuts down, which is very nice of her. And I am going to take full advantage. I just need to finish making my list. Yeah, that's obviously a failed mock ball, but this is another part you can use the mock ball on. You can also just run across. There's no need to mock ball, but I think it's cooler, so I always do it anyway. But yesterday, so my girlfriend ordered Japanese Wii U like a week ago. It arrived the other day, and she brought it over yesterday, and I got it set up. So now I'm able to just buy Japanese eShop cards on playasia.com. And then I can use those to add money to my account, to my Japanese account, and I can buy games like that. And it's very cool. Take a left there until we have that item again. And all we can do is go down here. This is similar to a corridor in Brinstar in the first game. This is an energy refill room. It will completely recharge your energy. It does not fill your reserve tanks, but it's still very helpful. But yeah, so that's basically what I'm worrying about right now is getting all the games that I want, that I can. Obviously, I don't have that much money to spend, but Virtual Console games are cheap, so I should be able to get quite a few. There are also other digital-only games that aren't Virtual Console that haven't been re-released on anything later. So if I can find a good list of them, because I haven't been able to find one yet, hopefully I can get all the ones that I might want within reason. I'm gonna have to make like a priority list, because I'm probably not gonna have the money to get everything I could possibly want. I don't have that much money. Again, from my girlfriend. She's very nice. And she has more money than me. And so she's giving me a certain amount. Feels weird to say the exact amount. It's not. It's enough that I can get, like, a bunch of games, but not a ton of games, basically. It is a good amount to get a bunch of cheap games, but I still have to be quite choosy about which ones I'm able to get. That's a cool chamber. I like that there's water surrounding this pipe, and you can see that's what that visual effect is. But it's not, the pipe is obviously airtight, so we are not slowed down by water, which is a thing. I realize I haven't encountered water yet. But it's cool. It's cool to be able to see this. Another thing that's cool that you're perhaps not likely to notice is that those 3 rooms were in a different area named Meridia. And you can see there's things to the right here. I might regret that because I don't have... Yeah, you can get up here with the wall jump. Because I only have 1 super missile, so those are super missile blocks that you can break to get over here. This is an area that if I said what it's called, it would spoil a thing, so... Spoil a thing that's about to happen. This up here is an item... Okay, if I can get up here. There's an item up this way. You're expected to have the high jump, by the way, before you get here. Because otherwise you do a tricky wall jump or a running jump to get in here. Yeah, this is an item right here that I always forget to come back for. So I will try my best to remember that. Useful. There's a door to this way that goes to a save. Even though this feels like this would be the path, but the path forward is actually more secretive than that. It's one of the first paths you'll find that you can shoot the blocks through when they don't otherwise look special. By the way, we got the Spazer Beam, which I didn't mention. It increases our range, and it also increases damage. So those guys go down much more quickly now. Break down here. Go through this door. And then this area will look very familiar. It has a very similar style, appearance, and sprite set. Particularly this part. Those aren't breakable, though, I don't think. And you recognize these spikes. Oh, if I can... Oh, I can't dodge them all of it. Oh no, it's Kraid! It's not. It's fake Kraid. Just like the fake Kraid in Metroid 1. You can come up here to get a refill. I already have 50 max missiles. So, as you might be able to tell with the fact that fake Kraid was there, we are about to fight Kraid. Ooh, there's another soldier with a similar uniform that's dead here. Presumably he's Chozo. There's a door here that we can kill by shooting the eye with missiles. And then there's a thing in here. Now, I'm gonna pause and do a thing real quick. Okay, so let's go. Dangerous looking room. Like I said, we're about to fight Kraid, but he's changed a bit since we last saw him. He's a bit bigger than he was. You can use charge shots or missile shots in his face to make him open his mouth, and you can damage him by shooting into his mouth. After you do a certain amount of damage, he'll get up. He shoots his chest spikes here at you. And you have to fight him in this bigger room. Obviously, you can use super missiles to kill him faster, but I want to just kill him normally first. He gets, again, darker over time, just like Spore Spawn. It's a common thing. And I have beaten him. He's very easy, to be honest. An interesting thing about bosses in this game and this game only is they don't appear in the map, the mini-map. The mini-map is blank while you're in a boss room. If we progress through here, we get the Various Suit. Which this is technically sequence break to have it this early, since you're supposed to have the high jump before getting here. But whatever. It's very cool, very useful. There's nothing else in this room. I always feel like there is, but there's not. But there is a much cooler way to kill Kraid. It's harder, but I am going to attempt it. So I'm gonna show you that now. Here we are back here. It might take me a bunch of tries to do this. We'll see. I might have to look up the actual, like, recommended way to do it, because I always struggle with this. But there is a way to get him to do enough damage to kill him much more quickly. Not like that. This might take a few tries. Ah. If I fail a couple more times, then I will look up how to actually do it. Oh, there we go! This is called the Kraid Quick Kill. And there's some weirdness about this, because they don't expect you to beat him before the screen is all set up, before the screen gets bigger, so I can just go over here, open the door, and go through. That is the Kraid Quick Kill. What you do is you do a charge shot to make him open his mouth, charge shot into the eyes to make him open his mouth, and then when his mouth is open, you hit him with a super missile shot, which will make him keep his mouth open for longer, and then you pump in a couple more super missiles. With that, he will go down very quick. It is a very useful trick, especially if you can do it consistently, like I can't. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and get back to the elevator, enter the next area, and that'll be the end of this episode. But yeah, this is the sort of demonic maw that's right before the fight with Kraid in the first game. Very cool that they sort of recreated the look of the area. I'm glad I was able to get the crate quick kill, because it's taken me more tries than that before in the past. God, it's difficult. They expect you to have a little high jump, so you have to use the wall jump to get out of certain areas here. But this door is now unlocked, whereas it was locked before. It's just sort of another little reward for fighting them. These guys, they'll attach to you and drain your energy, kind of like a Metroid, but if you just shoot a missile up, they die. There's an energy tank in here. There's an actual reward. It might feel like it's just a trap, but there is a reward here. For some reason, though, yeah, if you just shoot a missile up, it'll kill any of the ones attached to you. That's what I always do. I did it earlier with one, but I didn't explain it, so worth explaining now. I like this face here. It's similar to the sort of demon heads at the entrance to Kratos' Lair's elevator in the first game. Yeah, these are all super missile blocks, which I could bomb one to show you what that looks like. Oh, I guess we already saw that. Oh my god, I missed so many times, but it's fine. And you can probably surmise where an elevator in Brinstar will lead me. And it is Norfair. Norfair looks very different in this game, for the most part. Their areas look a little bit more like the first game. But here we are. We are now in Brinstar. I believe there's a save room in here. Yeah. This is where I'm going to stop here. I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.